Right, hello there, everybody. Running a tad late, but only just. One or two people joining us already. Good to have you along for the ride. We've got ourselves into the blue. Mr. saying hello from sunny Wales. Listen, sunny it's luck, considering it's particularly grey and grim where I am at the moment. But it's been threatening to rain pretty much all day, so it's been a bit all over the place. But that's the way it is. And one or two technical issues as well, or at least fighting some technical issues. Everything, I've kind of got everything back up and running and working again. It's now just everything else that's just kind of fighting me. But I think it's been a day of challenge all over the place. So, yeah, a week of challenge anyway. But no, thank you very much indeed for your company. 66 days to go to San Diego Comic-Con. We're going to talk about that and get into the announcements of San Diego Comic-Con as of this week, of which there have been numerous. So that's all been fun and games. We're also going to be talking about a bunch of shows that are upcoming, especially in the next 2 weeks. One, which I'm excited to attend, at least on the Sunday, at least. We're going to be talking about a show which my wife is going to be attending because she's going to be doing her usual bits and pieces of what she's up to. And then there's a show which, frankly, is proving a little bit problematic. But we're going to talk about that on the show. We're also going to be talking to a special guest about his upcoming show as well. So, yeah, lots and lots of stuff to get into. As always, let us know where you're watching from. Let us know what you're up to today. Hopefully you've had a good day. Hopefully you've had a good week. And yeah, it's hopefully it's just been especially a rewarding one, especially if you've been taking part in the hotel sale. Hopefully you've got your good news. If you have, do let us know in the chat. Let us know what room you did get. If you did apply for a hotel room. Danbury, you keep your mouth shut because we know you live in San Diego and you love to rub it in his faces every opportunity you get. But yeah, let us know if you did take part in the badge sale, in the hotel sale, and let us know what you did. And we'll see how we get on with today's show. Let's do this, shall we? It's when I suddenly realized I didn't even have a cap on. I don't even have one of my caps. One of my white caps had disappeared. I think they're all in the wash. But I have a cap on, and it's convenient, and it's relevant as well. Comic-Con International cap. Hello there, everybody. Welcome along to Talkin Con, a cup of tea with an Englishman in San Diego. My name is Leonard Sultana, and it is 66 days to go to San Diego Comic-Con 2022. Going to get into a whole bunch of stuff a little bit later on the show. We're going to be talking about the hotel sale that the second round of announcements went through and went out this week. So how did you do? Do jump in on the chat. Let us know how you did, if you applied for a hotel room. Which hotel room did you get? Did you get the one that you wanted? Did you get one of the big hotels down in downtown? Let us know what happened. Let us know what you got up to. Let's see if we've got everybody on the chat saying hello into the blue mister. Good afternoon from sunny Wales, folks. Spent the day on the bike at the beach, ice cream and sun. You lucky swine, you. Here in Yorkshire, it's been very grey and grim and threatening to rain. And yeah, it's been a little bit overcast, which has kind of summed up our week, but we'll get into that in a bit. Jim Watari says, good morning from Southern California. Good morning from Colorado, says Michael P. Karma Savage, good morning, cup of tears. Hello there, Karma. Good to have you along. Michael Ebel, good afternoon from Ohio. Did not get a room yet. 0 for 2. Hopefully the wait list works out. Indeed. Understandable. Sarita P, good day all. Hope everyone got the hotel they wanted. Veronica Nunez, boyfriend got 2 hotels. One in first round, one in second round. I got nothing. It really has been kind of like, it's been hit and miss across the board. Just kind of reading the social media and how it's all kind of panned out. It's just been very, very hit and miss. Sarita and me, I got the second round email and got the 7th pick, which is in Mission Valley, but declined it. Interesting. We talked about accommodation a couple of weeks ago, and Mission Valley is a little bit far out, but at least it's a hotel room in San Diego. And but if that's what you obviously wanted to get a bit closer, fair play to you. That's what you've gone for. Fair enough. Fair enough. And Karma Savage is saying, I got my first choice during the first round of Manchester Grand Hyatt. Okay, so yeah, do keep those coming in. Let us know how you did, and of course, we want to know how you fared and what you're looking forward to now when it comes to the actual convention, because we are starting to get 1 or 2 bits and pieces when it comes to special guest announcements. We'll get into those in a minute. A little bit later on in the show. 1 or 2 panels are starting to kind of show their shadow, and of course, it was the last day to apply for panels if you wanted to run a panel at San Diego Comic-Con. Monday just gone. So yes, that was the deadline. I went in for 5. We'll see what happens with that. So there we go. Right. We've got ourselves a chat, which we're going to get into first, though. So we've got ourselves a special guest who's come to join us, not only to talk about his own show, which is upcoming, or at least down the line in 2022, but we're also going to talk about some other shows as well. But it's great to have Joel Meadows joining us. So let's bring him into the stream and say hi to Joel. Hello there, Joel. How the devil are you, sir?
I'm not too bad, thanks. It's been a bit grey and a bit miserable here as well, but you know, it's not like it's actually isn't summer. It's still spring, so you know what you expect. But yeah, it's not too bad.
That's true. I mean, to be fair, I mean, you often turn around and say and give us the grief about it's grim up north, but I think it's just been grim everywhere.
Yeah, it's been pretty grey here, so I can't blame Yorkshire on that. So.
Absolutely. But we're going to get into a bunch of stuff and talk about some upcoming shows. But let's talk about yours first, because of course you are running and putting together, along with your partners in crime, the Tripwire Presents Bristol Comic Con.
Yes,
which,
that's right.
It's starting to heat up, especially with a couple more announcements that have taken place. I mean, if you can kind of give us a little bit of an overview, first and foremost, tell us about the genesis of and how it's all come together. Bristol Comic Con.
Of course. Well, we were involved with 2 years at the Portsmouth show in 2018, 2019. We went very well. But then obviously COVID kind of got in the way, and we thought about putting our own show together. We left, you know, completely amicably from Portsmouth, but we thought it'd be fun to put our own show together. And we thought Bristol had a history of comic shows going back many, many years. You know, even well, I guess it's pre-Thought Bubble actually. Even before Thought Bubble, there was a comic show in Bristol, and you know, it is a good city. So we thought it'd be a perfect place to run it. And this year is the 30th anniversary of the magazine. So again, we thought it'd be nice to celebrate it with a comic convention. And we thought September would be a good time of the year because it doesn't clash with San Diego or New York or MCM. I mean, it's getting harder and harder to pick a weekend, which is clear of other shows. But we managed to navigate those choppy waters mostly. So yeah, so we've got a mix of UK, US and European talent. We got Howard Chaykin, Brian Stelfreeze, Jorge Funes. I apologize to him for probably mispronouncing his first name. I think it might be Jorge. We got Lee Garbett, a very talented artist who just finished a run on Doctor Strange. We've got Shaky Kane, who's just coming across from Exeter, who's obviously a very cool kind of cult British cartoonist. We've got Sean Phillips, we've got Jock. We've got a pretty impressive lineup, if we do say so ourselves.
Indeed. I mean, this has been a show that we've kind of highlighted on Talkin Con before, and it's it's something that I'm looking forward to, if anything, because I will always support shows which are wanting to do something new and add themselves to the calendar. I
Yes.
know there's been tensions around when it comes to dates and getting available weekends, but I personally believe that there is space for everybody.
Yes.
I think there's room and there's talent out there. There are, I mean, we're going to talk about a show in a couple of weeks, or two shows in a couple of minutes time, taking place in a couple of weeks time, which does seem to be very disproportionate when it comes to sharing those guests over the course of that particular weekend. But we'll talk about that in a bit.
Yes.
What has been the announcements over the recent weeks and days then? Because I know that you've been kind of gathering followers for the Instagram, and that's been kind of a way for you to get news and information out about the show. Tell us about the Instagram account. And why,
well, I mean, it has been coming together. I think it's called Tripwire Bristol Comic Con. I try to keep it simpler, and we're just under 100 followers, which is nice. I mean, I'd share news, from our Tripwire website, and also news related, to the show.
Cool.
So yeah, I mean, that's been coming together. We've announced our workshops as well. I forgot to mention Jimmy Pomiotti and Amanda Connor, which was an oversight, because they're two great guests, and they're both incredibly talented. I mean, Jimmy, he's the king of Kickstarters, and he's got incredible talent, and obviously Amanda's got a huge following as well, and they're a great couple. They're fantastic. They're incredibly friendly and very welcoming, and both incredibly talented as well.
Sure. So yeah, the Instagram account. Why Instagram? Because
well, just because
there seems to be several platforms which kind of, I mean, I don't know what it is about social media at the moment. There just seems to be a real despondency about just social media in general. Is it just me?
I don't know. I mean, Instagram, I just thought it's a good, people seem to react to Instagram. There's a lot of comic people on Instagram, and there's a lot of people posting. So obviously we've got the Facebook group, and we're on, Twitter. I use my own Twitter handle, and there was a Twitter Tripwire Bristol Comic Show, which I admit I've let slide on Twitter, I admit, because I've been rather busy the last couple of weeks. I should try and promote that a bit more, but I think Instagram's good because it's a good way to instantly show art and to show photographs of people. And I think people seem to connect quite well with Instagram on an instant, hence the name, I guess, on a kind of instant basis. So just trying to get the word out through there as well as through Facebook and Twitter. So
understandable. And the plans for the show, I mean, in terms of content and panels, what's happening with the show there?
Well, we've got panels. We are finalising because we're waiting on a couple of guests that we're waiting to finalise. So there's going to be traditional panels. There will be workshops as well, so people will get the opportunity to get like a 90-minute exclusive session with the likes of Howard Chaykin and Gary Erskine and Jimmy and Amanda in a room which is dedicated specifically for the workshops. And there will be exhibitors, and we are planning some cosplay stuff as well. And there will be the awards. There'll be let me get this right, the 4th Tripwire Awards in the evening on the Saturday, which you will be presenting, I believe. So we'll be handing out some gongs. We haven't finalised the nominations yet, but they are.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know that you've sent those out, and you've got yourself a couple of new categories in there as well, if you want to talk about those.
Yes, of course. I'm trying to remember what they were. Forgive me, it's been a slightly challenging couple of days. We have added a couple of categories, and I can't remember for the life of me what they are, unfortunately. Unless have you got the list to hand, Leonard?
I don't actually. I'm currently I'm bringing up the Bristol website.
It's not on the website, unfortunately, but there are a couple. I can talk about them generally. I just wanted to broaden things.
Sure,
I'm trying to think.
Go for it.
I can't remember what they are, unfortunately. You've wrong-footed me here, Leonard, but that's fine.
I do apologise.
It's fine. I know it wasn't intentional. But yeah, we're expanding the awards a little bit.
We'll bring this up first, because we'll bring this up so you can kind of talk us through it, because
yes, of course.
The website is up and running, and like I say, it's got all the guests and everything that's kind of everyone's that's going to be featured. And like I say, the guest list is very, very impressive indeed, and it's great to see some names that don't do many UK cons, so it's good to have them kind of get represented.
No, exactly. So yeah, I mean, we wanted to give it a good mix. We wanted to make sure that there was a good mix of guests. If a first year of a show is challenging, so we wanted to make sure that there was a good range of artists and writers. And we've got for local talent, we've got Rob Williams, obviously, who's Bristol based, who's been doing the Swords of Hyperborea book, which I think is just finished, or maybe I think it's just finished about a month ago, drawn by Lawrence Campbell, who's also going to be at the show. He's been doing some phenomenal work. His art's been just on fire. This series particularly, he's always been very talented, but suddenly, it's like he's pushing things up another level. And I mean, Martin Simmons is going to be there, obviously, artist on Department of Truth, a perennial popular book image. I mentioned Lee earlier. We've got some very cool people. I'm very excited. We've managed to gather a really strong list of people.
Excellent. I mean, I'm personally excited to see Jock there. Cavan Scott, I'm a huge fan.
He's always a great guest.
I don't think I've met the man face to face, so looking forward to.
Oh well, that'd be very nice. He's a great guy.
Absolutely. Sean Phillips and Martin Simmons, of course, and Robert Williams and Lawrence Campbell. Just some really great names that you've got in yourself.
Yes,
absolutely. Very quickly as well, just to talk about the Tripwire Awards. These are the categories which you've got lined up. Let me just no, I might as well just.
Please read them out. If you found the email,
I can indeed. I can read them out. So we've got best writer, best artist, best cover artist, best colorist, best letterer, best new series, best publisher, best new talent, best original graphic novel, best collection, best comic related website publications, best small press independent UK, best small press independent US, best editor, best crowdfunding campaign, person of the year, and the roll of honor. And the two new categories that you've got in there, best designer and best.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. I thought that was important because, I talked to a friend of mine on another sort of video cast last week, and we talked about the idea of design, and it's really interesting, because you've got, you've got in the old days, comics. We all love older comics, but you look at them in terms of their design, they were quite basic in terms of their graphic design, but post 1980s, post Dark Knight, I would say, suddenly the mainstream publishers, they took a lot more time and care and consideration on how a comic would look. Certainly the covers, and you've got people like Tom Muller, you've got Darren Robinson at DC, you've obviously got Ryan Hughes, you've got these three people that are phenomenally talented. Obviously a Chip Kidd, on the book front, but graphic design is now something that comic companies think about, and it's something that they just used to slap the covers together. I said no offense to older comics, pre 86, they were still great comics, but in terms of design, I think in the last, let me get that right, the last 34 years, I think there's been a huge leap, and there's a lot of time and care and consideration taken, and I wanted to reflect that. So I thought best designer, and I know that Darren will be happy about that. And
sure,
he's probably thinking that Ryan. I mean, there are some very talented designers out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's an underrated aspect of comics.
Oh, it is.
And in much the same way that when I have hosted and when I've talked about the awards ceremony and about Tripwire Awards, and indeed any kind of comics awards, letterer and colorist.
Oh yes,
I think flatter should also be kind of like incorporated into that, because it is a part of the job that does kind of get neglected to be.
Well, I'm also a bit wary about having 75 categories, so
no, I totally
have to take it a little bit more slowly, I think.
Sure, I appreciate that. But no, it's great to see them represented, and looking forward to seeing what you're going to be doing at the show. And if you want to just remind people of, I think we've got it up on the screen there, 3rd and 4th of September 2022, and it's going to be at the DoubleTree at Hilton at Redcliffe.
Indeed, which is a stone's throw from the Templemead train station in Bristol, so it's really convenient. And it's there are regular trains that go from Paddington to Bristol, and also from other parts of the country. You can get there from Exeter, you can get there from Reading, from Oxford. I mean, the good thing about Bristol is it's very easy to get to. It's very convenient. And there's obviously Bristol Airport for people who are coming, even somewhere a bit further afield, like Ireland or perhaps France, or Bristol is a good city. It's got some really, and obviously there's the motorway as well from London or the M4. So it's it is, and then there's So tickets are available on Eventbrite and also on Skiddle. So we're trying. I haven't got those to hand, but that is the Eventbrite page. So people can, and we're offering kind of limited edition VIP tickets as well, so people get access to the show a little bit earlier on the Friday night, and you'll get the chance to wander around and check out what's set up there prior to it. So I mean, we've got the awards. I mean, I want to talk very briefly about the 30th anniversary book, which is going to be coming out from Heavy Metal, which will be launching at Bristol on that very weekend. Which have an introduction by Jimmy Palmiotti and art from people like Walt Simonson, Frank Miller, a lot of really cool people, Lawrence Campbell, hopefully Frank Quitely and a few other people. Unfortunately, not all of these people will be at the show, but they're kind of helping us celebrate the anniversary of the magazine in this very cool book.
Excellent. And like I say, it's a pretty affordable show over the course of the 2 days.
Yeah, we've tried to set the prices as fair. We tried to make them to give people, because I know obviously things are tough at the moment, and we tried to set the prices at a fair level. So we weren't but obviously with the first year we need to make sure we cover our costs. We're not looking to put ridiculous exorbitant prices, which we're trying to make sure so that we can cover our expenses for the show, so that we can make it a regular fixture on the show calendar.
Sure. In terms of the guests, I mean, we're talking September, still talking some time away.
Yes.
And I'd hate to think that everything is being nailed down and everything ready to go for Tripwire. Hopefully, it's still in evolution, and you're still looking at guests on the invite list. What can we expect? Have you got any kind of anything you can kind of tease us with people that you may be inviting down the line?
Well, I don't want to name him because we've talked about. I talked to him last week, and he's not confirmed. But there is a Scottish comic artist who might be coming. I mean, an emphasis on the might, because he's not confirmed. So I don't want to mislead people. I don't want people to come assuming that this particular person will be there, because he's still waiting to finalize. But he's one of the nicest people in comics, and he's a huge talent, and hopefully he'll be able to make it.
Cool. Well, I mean, fingers crossed on that, and we'll be able to announce it on the show when you do.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, looking forward to it. And like I say, Tripwire presents Bristol Comic Con. If you want to find out more about the actual show itself, tripwirecomiccons.com. It's right there.
Indeed, yes, people can find all the info there, and people can follow us on Tripwire at Bristol Comic Con on Instagram, and there is a Tripwire. There's a festival page on Facebook as well, which is Tripwire Presents Bristol Comic Con. I apologize, I've ended up setting up a page and a festival page, so people please search for the festival page. I think I'm going to try and delete the others because it's going to confuse the hell out of them, but I'm just kind of getting to grips with that. But yeah, people can find as much information out on that, and they can go to tripwiremagazine.co.uk as well, which is obviously it's where our website is hosted, and we do put up any extra info. We do cross post there as well, so people feel free to check it out and see what we've got, and see if they fancy coming to Bristol the first weekend in September.
No worries. Like I say, any way that we can shine a light on this,
it's always a pleasure. Much appreciated, Leonard. You've always been great at helping out, British and also US, independent shows. And, it's always been a great place for that.
Thank you. Well, this is where then you say that I'm now going to possibly give a show that I would have previously taken part in. I've been an invited guest as a panelist. I've been somebody who's attended the show as a fan, and I have been unable to make the recent shows, but we've had representation from the Convention Collective attending the MCM shows. But this is where it's very possible we could be giving them a little bit of a kicking. So let's step away from Tripwire Comic Cons for a spell, and talk about the convention landscape here in the UK. Considering that in 2 weeks' time we've got 3 shows which are going to be taking place. We'll talk about one straight away. We'll talk about Lawless, which I'm particularly excited. I'm going to be attending on the Sunday for this particular show, so very much looking forward to attending Lawless. This is Lawless Comic Con. It's a show which is going to be held at the same venue as Bristol Comic Con.
Yes.
As it happens. This is on the 28th, 29th of May, Doubletree by Hilton Hotel in Bristol. And this is a real celebration of British comic talent. I mean, with the term Lawless, it definitely does lean towards the 2000 AD kind of style, and they really do kind of lean into the 2000 AD talent lineup. But we're going to be, I mean, they're celebrating everything from like the 77 comic, independent British creators and publishers, and they really do go all out when it comes to celebrating British comics talent. Very much looking forward to this. When it comes to the guest list, it's pretty damn spectacular as well. If I can just bring that up, and it's just the who's who. Basically, everybody who attended a celebration of a comics talent that we lost recently on Friday. Basically, if they were here, if they were there at that, they were probably doing a little bit of a chat about what they're going to be doing on the weekend of this, because I think everyone pretty much attended both. John Wagner, Glenn Fabry, Clint Langley, Dan Cornwell, John Higgins, Ian Richardson, Lou Stringer, Karen Holloway, it's Brian Bolland, which I'm particularly excited about talking to, Sally Jane Hurst, Keck W, Steve McManus. It really is just an incredible lineup of talent. Can we talk about then this kind of convention and why it's important to celebrate the British end of it? Because there's very few in the way of international. Well, I don't think there is any international talent on this list. It's pure Brits. Talk about the place of that in the comics landscape.
Of course. I mean, I think having a show which celebrates British talent is essential, because obviously these are homegrown people, you know, based in our country. And I think that people forget how many amazing talents there are in the UK. You know, I mean, I spoke to a US convention organizer, and, you know, he talked to me and he said that some of the guests that we have, basically they're very envious. You know, you forget, you think, you know, a lot of the people who do turn up to British shows, they are, you know, kind of regular visitors to UK shows, but these are some people who've never been to a US show or haven't been in years. And it's very, very talented people. So I think it's in the same way that you look at, for example, like talent, like film talent, you know, like the amazing Canadian in the UK work on Hollywood movies. You know, these are very, very talented people. And we're very lucky to have all these people in this country, you know, a short drive away, you know, from something like Lawless. And I think Lawless is a great show. I mean, I'm popping down there as well, just as press, and, you know, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, Sue is very kindly, she's allowing us to promote, you know, our show at the show, which is very, very kind of her. I mean, I've not been to this show, but I hear great things about it. And as you say, it's got a pretty phenomenal lineup.
Sure. Like I say, I'm going to be attending on the Sunday. This isn't because I'm going to be attending another convention on the Saturday. This is where the money comes in, I'm afraid. I'm DJing. I'm doing a gig on the Saturday night, which means my Saturday is pretty much tied up. So I'm not going to be able to attend, but I'm going to go straight to the Sunday show. Like I say, Into the Blue Mister is saying on the screen, Lawless does only have tickets left for the Sunday. Umming and ahhing at the moment. With this with this guest list, I find it difficult for you to be umming and ahhing, because it is such a
great lineup.
Definitely. It's a great lineup. Then we turn to, if you don't mind, and this is okay, so this is a pure comics convention.
Yes,
great to have that represented.
Oh, it is.
Then we have the pop culture side of things, and we're going to talk about a show, another one which we've loved to support here on Talkin Con, which is MCon, taking place at the Motorpoint Arena, Nottingham, a show which has grown leaps, bounds over the years that we've been covering it on the an Englishman in San Diego and on Talkin Con. Everything from just the kind of the third stormtrooper from the left kind of show, but now they really have just gone all out. This week, announcing Nick Frost is going to be attending. Sarah Porter of Shaun of the Dead, Paul and Hot Fuzz. You've got Olivia Swan from DC's Legends of Tomorrow. Sad news, unfortunately, that show is coming to a close. You've also got Jason Mewes, you've got Matt Ryan, you've got Arthur Darvill.
It's a pretty impressive lineup,
isn't it? Just Veronica Taylor, who, by the way, is just the most fun. Arthur Darvill, same drill. He's always a great chat as well. I mean, the list is just very impressive. A nice Doctor Who representation as well, as always. A whole bunch from Gladiators. Back in, this is where the Americans are now going to look at the screen.
What the hell's that?
What is that? Yeah, I think they had a form of the Gladiators, but they didn't have our bunch. And let's put it this way: they don't look like that anymore.
Well,
But it really is just such an impressive list, and they're starting to do their best as well with some creative talent as well. Lee Sullivan in there, Debbie J. Howe as well. They are doing their best to get some more comics talent. And Will Mellor's always going to be a blast as well. Great lineup.
Yes.
And as when we're talking about those the pop culture cons, it's a show that really does hold up, which then kind of begs the question, considering that, like I say, this is a show which I'm not going to say it's a second tier show, because it's clearly developed, and what Lee has done with the show, just grown it incredibly. Then we have MCM, which is going to be taking part in the same weekend. We're talking a show which is in your neck of the woods. It's at the down there south of Watford Gap.
Yes, exactly.
Deep in the harsh confines of the M25. It's held at the Excel, and we basically have this show. Can we just talk about why it just doesn't seem to have gotten any kind of traction at all when it comes to, what you would expect from a major con, and why MCon, of all places, of all shows, is struggling to get guests? We are talking about a show which, we're talking 2 weeks out, is yet to do ticket activation. Okay, you can kind of deal with that. I mean, let's just go through this. We got about MCM. We got guests. Okay, we've got a couple from Avatar: Last Airbender. My Hero Academia, popular, yes. The Legend of Korra, popular, yes. My Hero Academia as well. A whole bunch from My Hero Academia. That's it.
It's a very strange guest list.
That is what is currently lined up on the special guest list of a show that is being held at one of the largest convention sites in the UK.
I think it might be the biggest now, actually, in this country. I believe that XL might be the largest. I mean, and this is a show that had Tom Hiddleston in the past, and it had some pretty spectacular guests.
Unless they announce something literally in the next 7 days, if not sooner. Joel, what the hell's going on?
Well, I mean, if we can be a little bit critical here, and I'm not giving them a major kicking, but MCM, I think because it's an established brand, there might be a little bit of complacency here. I mean, I've seen some stories which say they've sold out of their weekend tickets or their Saturday tickets. So I assume that MCM, because it is such a well-known established brand, that they don't feel like they have to push the boat out with TV and film guests at the moment. That's my take on it.
I mean, you could say that this could help the Comics Village.
Perhaps. I mean, I know they've announced a couple of they've got Dave Johnson. There's another American. Oh, they've got Paul Jenkins is coming apparently.
Yeah.
So they've got two reasonably decent American guests, which I heard about this week. And also the other thing is, when I was commuting earlier this week, I saw that there was an advert for MCM on the tube, actually one of these video adverts on the escalators, which is those things, they cost a pretty penny. Yeah. So they have been promoting it. I think because it's not a show and everyone knows what an MCM is, I think that they've obviously sold tickets almost regardless of who they've announced.
Sure. Let's. I mean, we've got the page. I mean, we've got comics guests, entertainment guests, gaming guests. Let's just roll through as is.
Yes.
Alison Sampson, excellent stuff.
That's a solid guest, obviously, of course.
Absolutely. I mean, Christian Ward.
Another solid British comic guest, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Although I did quite like the fact that he then posted that they had announced a number of the panels that were going to be taking place on a couple of guests, including the creator stage and the main stage. And he's good, but he's not that good. That he was going to be scheduled for
two panels at once. Yes, I saw that. That was impressive.
I saw that as well. I mean, that kind of, for me, is indicative of where we are with the organization of MCon at the moment. Dave Johnson, there he is.
He's a good guest, obviously.
Absolutely. Emma Vaselli coming over as well. Eve Smith, Francesca May. We've got ourselves Gary Erskine. We've got I'm just rattling through at this point. Joe Pruitt.
Yes.
Hello.
Oh, yeah. It's a reasonable list, not an amazing list, but not a bad list.
That's a name. Joelle Jones. That's not too shabby.
Definitely.
Kit Buss.
No, it isn't.
Who else we got? We got Mark Ellaby, Mark Lamming. Certainly, I think for the creators, it's impressive. Nigel Parkinson
and Paul Cornell, I can see.
Paul Jenkins, Peter Milligan,
Yes.
Ram V.
Yes.
I mean, it's Sonia Leong. I mean, we just
it's a solid list. It's not bad.
It's a solid list for the creators.
And Warwick is there as well, I noticed.
Absolutely. It's a solid list for the Comic Village.
Yes.
But that is not what MCM have built their...
It's not what people come for, sadly. They come for the Hollywood, for the TV and film stuff.
I'm wondering if this is kind of going to be representative of conventions on a larger scale.
Maybe.
Is the biggest show, or are the biggest shows now not the big draw that they used to be, and it's now the smaller, more intimate shows, which isn't the big crowds?
Yes, possibly.
Can intimidate people, maybe even coming from further afield. Is that going to be where we are in terms of conventions in 2022 moving forward?
Perhaps. I mean, I guess we'll find out. I mean, I went to MCM in October. There weren't that many big TV film people, but it was a decent turnout. It was a reasonable crowd. It wasn't as busy as the old days, but it was reasonably solid in terms of numbers. It felt like it was a reasonably busy show. So that is a possibility. Because
it does seem to be
a bit light on the TV and film.
Very, very light. It's My Hero Academia and Wrestlers. That's where we are. I mean, indeed, I think who was it? Someone. I think I brought up. We're doing MCon and we showed the gladiators, and we had Solicitor of Smeg. I came in at a weird time, hit the link, and saw nothing but bodybuilders for a second. Don't worry, it's not some kind of strange offshoot of Talkin Con, but it does seem wrestlers and athletes are becoming a big draw. And so it's something else. Solicitor Smeg, I feel a lot of people will limit the cons they go to because of the COVID. So mid-sized cons may suffer. The huge shows like San Diego Comic-Con will always get attendees, and the small ones are propped up by locals. I'm actually wondering if it's the other way now. I think it may be the smaller con, which is going to be making a bit of a resurgence.
That's possible. I guess we could look at this and re-examine it, after the summer to see if that is the case.
Indeed. I mean, there are one or two aspects as well happening behind the scenes to MCM, which don't necessarily help, unfortunately. So I know that they're kind of struggling in a couple of elements. If anything, I think they're also kind of focusing, the MCM organization, or certainly the Repop element of it, they're concentrating on getting New York Comic Con to a decent state, and also they've got Star Wars Celebration just around the corner as well. So they've got a pretty busy summer ahead. But does that mean that it feels that they've left MCM Comic Con and the MCM shows a little high and dry?
Possibly. I mean, in the old days, the big MCM show used to be the October show, and May was always a bit of a smaller show. So I'm wondering if they're going to follow that same pattern. And come October, I wonder if we're going to have a more impressive lineup of TV and film guests, perhaps. There's
a smaller show, and then there's this.
I know.
This is something else entirely. It's just a.
And I'm not going to be able to attend MCM in May because I'll be at Lawless, sadly, so I won't be able to see firsthand what this show is like, but I'm sure I'll be able to get some reports back. I know that Mr. Serby is going, isn't he? So I'm sure we'll get a reliable report from him.
Him and Sam are both going to be attending the show. So
exactly.
I mean, I'm going to be hoping that we're going to get some kind of if we are going to be live on the Sunday evening. Fingers crossed. Yeah, we'll try and get a kind of a live report from Mark. That would be it'd be good. It's going to be interesting to see.
It will. And he's been
what,
to a lot of shows at that place, so he'll have a really good take on what it's like this year.
Like I say, if we don't have anything announced in the next 7 days of some form of attraction, this is going to be
a weird show.
I'm trying to think of it, put it in a polite term. It's going to be an interesting show. We'll go with that.
Yes.
We'll go with
unusual, we could say, perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely. But then again, just to kind of wrap up our time with you before we move on and talk about San Diego Comic-Con, your own experience in kind of attracting guests to Tripwire. How's that been for you? Is it been a case of people wanting to get back out there and get to see friends and fans again, or are still people being a little bit guarded?
I think we've been lucky. I think people do seem to enjoy, coming out to shows again. I mean, I missed Portsmouth. I think it was last weekend. I think now, but for the impression, Lawrence Campbell seemed to enjoy it, and he said it was great to reconnect. I mean, I went to a thing last night. It wasn't even a comic show. There was the Glyn Dillon, the exhibition of his work, which is well recommended if people are based in London. This place called the NoHo Space, I think, which is Fitzrovia, so it's near Goose Street. But there had people there. There was Chris Weston. There was Warwick Johnson, Cadwell, Will Potter, who used to work for Hero Collector, who's now gone freelance. A lot of familiar comic faces. David Hine, I think, was there. And they seem to be happy. People seem to be happy. And I went to this Simon Davis thing last week as well, another exhibition. And he was there. And I think people are keen to get out and to visit and to meet friends again, to have the social aspect. I know obviously you do touch on this quite a bit on this show, but that people forget that there are comic creators and they only see their friends at shows. They get a chance to go and have dinner with them or drinks or just catch up or even just chew the fat by popping by their table. It's something that I've missed. And last year, I got to do it with 4 different shows. It was nice to get to do it at Coventry and MCM and Lakes and Thought Bubbles. I think the social aspect, creators, and I think that's probably why it hasn't been hard to attract people. I mean, there's been the odd clash, like Will Simpson couldn't come because he's got a European show to attend. So obviously, with the calendar filling up again, basically that's the new challenge. Last year the challenge was, will we even have shows because of COVID? And then this year the challenge is there were so many shows that some people their dance card is already full for that weekend. So it's a good problem, for the industry, I think, especially after the last weird 2 years that we've had.
Yeah. I mean, for myself, what I have been talking about over the last couple of years about where we are going to be when it comes to conventions, especially when it comes to legacy creators, and the thoughts of creators of a certain generation.
Yes.
Sort of kind of ducking out for a bit. Giving the convention space a bit of a wide berth until they feel comfortable about coming back. But then I think we've had some major losses.
Oh, this year's been horrendous. We lost 2 of the biggest comic artists of the last 50 to 60 years. It's been awful. So I mean, I completely understand if people are of a certain generation, they're nervous, in terms of health. So I 100% understand why they're reticent to come back to shows.
Well, that's the thing. I'm thinking of it. They're coming at it from a different angle.
Oh, totally.
I think there's actually some aspect of it where people are thinking that, I think we're going to live life the best we can because, frankly, we may not get the opportunity to see these people again. And life has proven to be incredibly transitory. And we could lose some amazing people at any time. So I think now there's almost an aspect of it where people are thinking, let's just grab the opportunity while we can. There was the wake and the celebration.
Yes, on the last week on the Wednesday,
for Gary Leach on Wednesday. The pictures that were posted, I believe it was Will Simpson that posted the pictures for that. We had international people flying in.
Oh, I saw it. It was amazing.
Just to celebrate the life of this incredible artist. say, I mean, no spoilers, because I have actually, I think I posted it online, that I have submitted for a Marvel Miracle Man panel at San Diego Comic-Con, and yes, Gary Leach's name is going to be
Well,
an
of course. I
essential
mean,
part of
obviously,
that.
if you get that, you have to. He's a major part.
Absolutely. So it's a real. There's that real yin and yang to the whole thing. There's a aspect of it where people are being obviously incredibly guarded, and then there's that aspect of, let's just do this now while we can, because
And we want to celebrate the talent of these people who won't be around forever. Sadly,
Absolutely.
you have to remember that these people aren't. I mean, you assume that they're always going to be with us, but
I
sadly,
think
that's not the case.
The first one to hit me like that was Carrie Fisher.
Yes, of course.
Because I just went, well, that's fine. I'll see Carrie down the line. Yeah,
and sadly, yes,
she's right there. Oh, is Neil gone to see her? Okay, yeah, say hi to Carrie for us. Yeah, I'll see you next time. And then I think it was like a couple of weeks later, we lost Carrie Fisher, and the other one is Chris Achilles.
Yes.
I turned around and said to myself, I'll catch him at the next one. This was at Wales, Telford. I'll catch him at the next one.
Yes.
And then we lost Chris Achilles. And
it's very sad, and it is, as you say.
I think there's a real sense of that. It's now, so let's just make the young'uns call that idea YOLO. Yeah, I think you may have a point there. That's the one. So there we go. I personally, I mean, you've got some great guests on your show, which I want to see again. And
of course.
I want to see Jimmy. I want to see Amanda. I mean, these people.
Well, they're amazing. They're just incredible.
Decades of life in them, but
yes,
it's a case of life has now proven to be so unpredictable, and it's now a case of let's attend these shows and celebrate them in person and let them know their love as they come. So one more time, Joel, if you just want to give us that one big pitch for Tripwire Comic-Cons, or Tripwire presents Bristol Comic-Con. Go on, give us that one last.
I'll try and give you the one line. It may be more than one line. It might be two, but basically it's a celebration of UK, US, and European comics talent. The likes of Jimmy Palmiotti, Amanda Connor, Brian Stelfreeze, Howard Chaykin, Sean Phillips, Jock, Lee Garbett, Shaky Kane, Mike Collins, and a whole host of others. I'm sure I've forgotten, taking place in panels, doing panels and also doing workshops. And there will be exhibitors there as well. I'm also going to be hosting the Tripwire Awards on the Saturday night. I'm also going to be launching the Tripwire at 30. That's not the final title, but our 30th anniversary book, which is going to be a monster 200-page book at the same size as the DC Black Label books. And there's probably be a limited hardcover. It's going to be an amazingly beautiful book. So there's a lot of things happening. It's going to be a crazy summer. But it's in a good way, obviously. So people can check it out on the website.
Cool. Well, Joel, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Leonard, thanks again. It's always a pleasure to come on.
Any opportunity to spread some more word about Tripwire Presents at Bristol, do let us know.
Of course. Well, once we finalise a couple more guests, I will keep you posted and have to come on and, as you say, chat about them.
Excellent stuff. No, very much looking forward to talking about the show and attending it as well.
Of course, you're always welcome, as you know.
Excellent stuff. Take care.
Look after yourself. Take care. And thanks to everyone for watching.
Okay. Take care, man.
Take care.
So there you go. Very much worthwhile checking out Tripwire Comic Cons. The address is right there on the screen, and find out more about the show as it gets closer and closer. September, as the summer convention scene is very much gathering apace. Speaking of which, something I was going to say at the top of the show, I know that I knew that I was going to be concentrating very much on the English shows for the first 2/3 of this. So if you can, please do let us know which shows are you going to be attending. Not just San Diego Comic-Con. Let's not just focus on the big boy. Let's talk about some of the shows as well. Are you going to be attending New York? Have you got plans for that on the way? What other US shows are you going to be attending? What other ones have kind of got your attention? Do let us know. Let's have a look at this. Solicitous Meg, you sure about that? What's that? What do you mean? Attending San Diego Comic-Con? Unless he's talking about this comment from Andrew Dickinson. WonderCon never had RFID. I asked her to talk back. It is back at San Diego Comic-Con. So there we go. That's what you've what he's found out. So do keep that in mind. Let us know what the crack is with that. But no, let us know which shows you're attending, and we can kind of talk about those as well. Into the Blue Mister is saying, if I had the funds, then Lawless would be no brainer. But it's £30 a ticket, plus around £50 in petrol parking. Things are tight right now. So yeah, that's definitely something that I'm going to be keeping a close eye on. So there we go. Also, just giving some chat about the hotels which you talked about earlier. We've got Karma Savage talking about, I got my first choice during the first round for Manchester Grand Hyatt. Excellent stuff. Congratulations. Let's see what we've got here. Let's get rid of that. We've also got ourselves Jim Watari. He got crap, but a friend has given him Manchester Grand Hyatt. Nice. Always a great show, a great venue to put your head for the night. Sarita P, I have a hotel in the downtown area. What else we got? Yeah, one or two people have been asking about myself and where I'm staying. I've got half my deposit down for a Airbnb within about a 6-block walk of the convention center, but it's Airbnb, so you never know, the ground could just fall out from underneath my feet. So if you see me looking very fried about 2 weeks coming out of San Diego Comic-Con and then turn around and say, has anyone got a sofa I can kip on, please do let us know. Yeah, we'll let you know how that pans out as well. Okay, so like I say, it's 66 days to go. Let's talk about the big show then, San Diego Comic-Con, which had itself a whole bunch of stuff announced this week. On the Talkin blog, we had ourselves the Masquerade. That's up and running as well. Monday, we had ourselves a bunch of things that came to a close. Well, on the Monday, we had ourselves the press badge registration now open. That is now up and running. And yes, I've been allocated 2 press badges for the Convention Collective. So expect to see Dan Berry throwing a camera around and recording as much as he possibly can, as will I. I'll be blogging and bringing as much coverage as I can, not only at the show of the week, but I'm also there the week before. So I'm going to be kind of doing some tours, looking around the layout of San Diego and seeing how that pans out. But no, that is the plan. Let's have a look at this. Michael P, there was no rhyme or reason to the hotel choices. It did seem that way, didn't it? People were talking about first come, first served. And it really just seemed very kind of fractured and really kind of people trying to work out what on earth was going on. But no, the Masquerade rules as well, that's up and running. The entry form is there as well. Like I say, that's going to be taking part, as always, on the Saturday evening on the 23rd, starting at 8:30. Huge successful event as always. We've got ourselves confirmed features. We've got ourselves a dance show by the core dance crew. We've got a return performance by the Saber Guild, which is the largest non-for-profit Lucasfilm recognized Star Wars lightsaber club in the world. So that's going to be a big thing. But of course, the whole thing is about the cosplay and the masquerade and the performance from all genres, all styles. And yeah, that is going to be a hell of a thing. I've never attended the Masquerade, and I'm wanting to attend it this time around. So who knows? Fingers crossed. We'll do our best to kind of be in the room for that. Right, let's have a look at this. Yes, Michael P is reminding us Spider-Man at the Comic-Con Museum. That is something that has gotten people's attention. So that's rather cool. So if anyone's wanting to take part in that, by all means, I'm going to be heading up to the museum. I'm there for a week, the week before, and yeah, the museum was something I was very excited about back when they opened the doors. So when I saw it last, it was a bit of a shell. You could see it behind kind of like some fencing inside the building. But no, I'm up for seeing exactly what they've done with the actual museum, considering what they have had to cope with throughout the course of the last 2 years and with COVID. It is now going to become more important than ever that San Diego Comic-Con has a presence outside of the convention, because it needs to have the momentum moving forward, which is where we hoped that they would be doing something with the live streaming and go reaching a further afield and doing a bit of more of a bigger audience outside of those that would be attending in San Diego. But having a museum a little bit further out of town, okay, we'll take it where it comes. We'll take it where it comes. Okay. So we also have had over the last couple of weeks as well. These are being announced at the moment on Mondays, and it is the wave of San Diego Comic-Con guest list number 1, Jane Shattuck Takamoto Bear, who's an animator for numerous Disney legend films. Suman Chiani, an incredible book, and is also going to be coming to be a major motion picture from Netflix in 2022. Starring Charlize Theron and Kerry Washington. But then, of course, it's always handy to know if Netflix are not going to cancel you on a whim. Keithan Jones, founder of Kid, which is an independent publisher based in San Diego. Good guy. He is a firm supporter of new talent and also of Black creators. He's just a real a force of nature. What a guy. Bill Morrison, artist and just one of the great curators of comic art and comic cartooning art. Yeah, just another force of nature. Jeff Smith, obviously the man's had a bit of a setback in recent weeks and months with the news that Mouse Guard will not be going forward as the presentation as a animation series, but Bone is still one of the groundbreaking comics of all time. So no, it's great to have him representing. And Maggie Thompson, who is just one of the lifebloods of San Diego Comic-Con generally, not only as a fan, but as a curator, as just somebody who knows her stuff and is just an absolute legend. So no, great to have having her going to be attending. But we also had ourselves the presentation or the announcement of the second wave of Comic-Con guests, which was announced, I believe, on Monday last. So is it Mondays? I believe it's Mondays. But we have these guests as well. So we've got Pierce Brown, best-selling author of the Red Rising series, Cecil Castellucci, the author of a number of books and graphic novels, including Shade Changing Girls, The Plain Janes, and Batgirl. Alex DeCampi, known as a script writer and also a graphic novelist, and I am wanting to meet her for a number of reasons. If anything, for Dracula Motherfucker, which is just an incredible horror series, but also the work that she did with Duncan Jones, which was Maddie, and also Wood's War Stories. They're all mentioned there. I supported both of those books in Kickstarter. Hell of a talent, and it would be great to see Alex DeCampi in person. Shannon Messenger, New York Times and best-selling author of The Keeper of the Lost Cities series. Scott Shaw, legend, one of the people who also created San Diego Comic-Con, so he has a real invested interest in the show and has been there from the absolute beginning. But what a legend. J. Michael Straczynski as well. He's been announced as a special guest. Yeah, if anybody I think could possibly get himself one of those Icon Awards, is somebody who could quite easily get himself one of those. He's just an absolute legend. We'll continue to keep an eye on special guests moving forward for that. Guests, I believe. I think, like I say, I believe it's Mondays, but we'll keep an eye open. I've been kind of checking out one or two of the other sites as well, and they've been sharing what's been going on in terms of off-site events. Nothing really confirmed, as you can imagine, but there's a couple of comedian shows, a couple of live concerts happening. There's some things that are taking place, but we're wanting to find out, but certainly when it comes to properties, shows, studios, who's going to be arriving. So yeah, looking forward to finding out more information as we move forward. Speaking of which, I know that I was going to be announcing or doing a Road to Comic-Con. And unfortunately, that kind of fell through. As Joel mentioned, he's had a bit of a tough week. I've had a tough week as well. It's just been something where it's just kind of gotten on top of me, and I haven't been able to keep up with a lot of things. Technical issues, communication issues. It's been a tough week. I'm not going to lie. And I'm not going to also lie. I will turn around when I finish this particular show and trying to hit a Control-Alt-Delete and do a bit of a soft reboot for next week. I want to get back up to speed. We're talking 66 days. It's going to be 60 days out from San Diego Comic-Con as of next Sunday. Got to kind of get back. I've got to get back into my swing of it. It's not. I'm not going to lie. There's also the momentum in the house as well. I am the only one that seems to be excited about San Diego. Caroline is concentrating on college. She's concentrating on trying to get better and get well and fit. She has turned around and said that she is scared shitless. Not necessarily of being in a room full of people who could possibly give her COVID again, but more just being in a room full of people. She is attending MCon. She's doing trader managing, so she'll be behind a desk of some description. So she's not going to be in the crowd as such, but there's still going to be a bit of pressure from people approaching her. So I'm hoping that this might be able to ease her into that, but I appreciate that she's also got her schoolwork. That is what is going to be in her mind. Sarita P, planning on going to the Spidey exhibit on the Tuesday when I arrive, which is that the Tuesday of Comic-Con week? Let us know. I might go with you. But I'm hoping to go the week before. But yeah, that's the plan. Yeah, soft reboot, because I have tried to get in contact with a representative of SDMTS. So talking about moving around San Diego, public transport, the trolley, the trains, the free shuttle service. Hopefully we're going to get that back up and running. I'm going to do a soft reboot on Road to San Diego as well. So fingers crossed we'll have that ready for you next week. Fingers crossed. Michael P, anybody else going, or anyone going to C2E2? Are you going to C2E2, Michael? Let us know. And Solicitor Smeg, if Ace doesn't do the parking lottery soon, I'm going to go to San Diego and start randomly slapping people as a Will Smith-inspired protest. Funny. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, from what I've been told of what the rumblings on the grapevine is, Ace parking lottery for Comic-Con is imminent. So yeah, watch that space. Watch that space. Michael P, remember to download the app. If I had my phone to hand, I would actually show you the app which I've downloaded. Yes, it is. I've downloaded it from San Diego MTS. It's the way to get around. I kind of hyped it up a bit when I spoke about this last, giving it the whole the aspect of, oh, it's this groundbreaking app. I also have the Arriva app here in the UK, which is basically just buying a bus ticket and showing it on the bus. That's pretty much it. But we're going to be talking about that, especially if you are attending as an international thing. But yeah, we'll kind of cover that, and also any other things that San Diego MTS are dealing with. They have turned around and said they will not be doing any Comic-Con related or themed tickets or badges, or I don't know about branding, but certainly they are scaling back. I think they are recognizing the pinch, and they're kind of keeping their budget conservative. They're kind of dialing it back a bit. So they're not going all in, as we have seen perhaps in previous years, but we'll watch this space. Like I say, I'd like to try and get a representative of that, try and get that up and running. Michael P, yes, I am going to C2E2. I've applied for a panel there. G, he says, you can guess what type of panel. I'm not even going to guess. I think we all know. So yeah, best of luck with that, and hopefully you get yourself a panel for that. Solicitor Smeg, Karma Savage, I need to start getting confit or I won't make it through SDCC. That's going to be part of Road to San Diego, about actually being fit for that show. It doesn't matter if it's scaled back. It doesn't matter if it's a slightly more guarded show. At the end of the day, it's still going to be a large effort. And yeah, being some kind of fitness to get yourself around that show. I mean, I have got myself relatively fit and relatively thinner than I have had in many, many years. But yeah, I am starting to ramp up my cardio and starting to ramp up my fitness level for San Diego Comic-Con, because it's a marathon and it's a big space. So we're going to get into that. Okay. Thank you very much indeed to Joel. Thank you very much indeed to you guys for jumping in on the chat and having a good old chinwag about things that have interested you. Hopefully you'll join us again next week for another Talkin Con. Like I say, as of the close of this, I'm going to be doing a soft reboot, rethinking, restructuring, and getting ourselves ready, because it's going to be 60 days out as of next Sunday. So hopefully you can join us for next week for the show. Other than that, as always, if there's anything you want us to cover, anything you want us to talk about, anything in particular, anything specific, let us know. Jump in on the chat, the comments here. Comment not just in the chat, but also like and subscribe, as always, when it comes to the actual the show itself. Let us know what you thought. Let us know if there's anything that you want us to dive into, and we'll do our best to cover that on next week's show when we go live, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. GMT. The one thing I will turn around and say, I have asked about David Glanzer coming on the show. No word yet. Who knows? He may or he may not. I'm just with fingers crossed. I've sent it to press, and I have sent it to David's email, which I have for him. And yeah, we'll see what happens. But as it happens, we'll cover this really quick. Solicitor Smeg is saying Diamond Select exclusives. So tell you what. Let's dive into it. Let's talk about Diamond Select exclusives, because yes, they have made their first announcements when it comes to San Diego Comic-Con 22. First round of exclusives for the show, and it's Cobra Kai, Marvel Comics, Transformers, John Wick, and more. We have ourselves Avatar: The Last Airbender for Antique Ang, that's going to be nice. I mean, look at it's got to be said, it's a great pose. A fantastic piece is that. Very nice indeed. The Cobra Kai Retro Action Figure 2-pack, that's going to be clocking in at $60. Oh, by the way, that's very nice. Last Airbender set going to be at $50. Marvel Comic Gallery, the animated Marvel animated Spider-Man Spider Sense bust. It's at $60, designed by Barry Bradfield. Very pretty indeed. But that's the one I like a lot. It is the Marvel Gallery Phoenix diorama at $50, and that is incredibly pretty as a sculpt. That's just very nice. The Transformers Minimates VHS box set, it's going to be at $30, sliding out of an illustrated VHS sleeve. Nothing just yet in terms of full molds yet, but we'll find out more as we get closer, no doubt. And a John Wick's VHS action figure, which is going to be clocking in at $25. Bruce Lee VHS action figure as well. Johnny Lawrence from Cobra Kai as an action figure, and Daniel LaRusso in VHS as well. So yes, it's a nice little retro set there, isn't it? It's one for let's put it this way, collectors of a certain age. I think the only one that's slightly more contemporary is maybe Airbender, and maybe the animated Spider-Man animated, perhaps. But definitely for those of a certain age, I think it's safe to say. Pretty, though. Solicitous Meg, I want all 3 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures badly. Yeah, very nice. So there we go. Solicitous Meg as well. No answer is an answer. Sorry, Leonard. Yeah, maybe, but we'll see what they say. We may get David back to us, and we'll get back to that. But isn't that pretty? There's some nice little first wave figures there. Diamond Select are always ones for throwing out a whole bunch of stuff. I seem to remember the couple of years leading up to San Diego Comic-Con, when I went last, it did seem to be a lot of dross with 1 or 2 really nice, pretty pieces which caught people's attention. Diamond Select seem to be pulling out the stops for 2022. They want to get back in the game and back in the ring, and they're definitely doing that with these figures. Very nice indeed. Okay, that's us. Thank you very much indeed for your company, and I'm back again 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. GMT next week, where hopefully we'll be a little bit more refreshed and a little bit more a bit more together. Hopefully we'll get some news about MCM. Hopefully we'll have some more special guests to share as well, some more news about what's coming up with San Diego Comic-Con, and just more and more Talkin Con, a cup of tea with Englishman in San Diego. With myself, take care, enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you next Sunday. Bye-bye.